Hello, gangsters! As you watch this sight, I'm in the midst of snatching kids from treats tonight. It's Halloween, so let's make way for a tale to keep vile bishops at bay. I'll share the truth of Teyvat's birth, a story of old of sky and earth, and unbiased accounts to set things right and guard us all on this spooky night. Now, dim the lights and gather near, for secrets lost shall soon appear. Welcome, my friends, to the first of our brand new yearly installment, Moist.
Barry, it was unlike anything I'd ever seen. Here I was playing with my son in the park before, out of nowhere, a fucking dragon flew above overhead and demanded I hand over my drugs and my ass with the dragon. This morning, I said when he was making fun of my condition, I said and they hated me for it.
Wonder if me being a closeted ophidiodiliac is why I'm racist to dragons.
Frames, the light's bearer, the gentle creator from a distant world, cast his gaze upon this bleak and barren land. His heart ached with sorrow for what he saw, a wasteland of shadows, ravaged by dragons that reveled in their own cruelty. This cannot be, he murmured softly, his voice a balm of warmth in the cold darkness. This world deserves life, deserves light. In a time long shrouded by the ages, there was a world where evil reigned supreme, a world teeming with heroin-addicted dragons, each one more terrifying than the last. Among these monsters rose a hierarchy of pure malevolence, the sovereigns, brutal tyrants over all creatures, and at their head, a drug lord, and someone in favor of the legalization of 9/11. The Dragon King Nibelung, a beast so vile that even the darkest creatures feared his wrath. These dragons knew no peace, no mercy, no remorse, and no bitches, only an insatiable lust for ruin. As they unleashed havoc upon every corner of the land, the world groaned under the weight of their fury, consumed by endless, inescapable darkness. And so, with a heart as boundless as the heavens, Phanes resolved to bring hope to the forsaken, a world that would soon cradle his beloved creation, humanity. But even as he dreamed of life and beauty, the shadows stirred, and so Phanes descended, his very presence a light to banish shadow. The dragons, those vile rulers who thrived on pain and desolation and drugs, looked upon this brilliant figure and trembled. Here was a being they could neither understand nor overpower, but the evil that had taken root in their hearts could not abide Phane's vision of beauty, of peace. They saw his mercy, his compassion as weakness. Nibelung rallied the dragon sovereigns, casting a net of darkness across the skies, declaring war against the being who sought to unseat them from their ghastly throne by getting them clean. For Phanes was not merely a traveler, he was a god of compassion, a being who dreamed of a world where life could flourish in joy and harmony, the bishops included. The dragons felt his light and scorned it, but in the minds of some lingered a thought, a hope for a better world, one free from the STDs and cocaine and evilness they had been used to, but alas, they sensed Phane's mercy. But still prepared to strike, Phanes gazed upon the wretched hordes with a resolute heart, and spoke. "I do not wish for blood," he said, his firm tone of steel. "If it is within your power, let us not fight. Disavow the evil that binds you and choose harmony. Instead, you, dragons of light, possess wisdom without limits. Your race is both beautiful and intelligent. I believe you will make the right choice." Most of the servants heard Phane's stirring words, confused and overcome by a torrent of emotions. They hesitated, glancing at one another before finally turning their gaze to their leader. simply said,
No! I need more drugs and cocaine! Gonorrhea will prevail in these lands! I will kill you for trying to purify my lands! More cocaine! More cocaine! Yes, I will burn you alive with my fire breath and use my STGs as an accelerant!
Fanes looked down solemnly, a tear in his eye as he grieved Nibelung's response. He then sheathed his sword and simply said, I shall not let evil claim what I cherish. The dragons, bitter and prideful, would not surrender their reigns so easily. In a rage, they amassed claws, sharpened STD-laced spit ready, and fire in their veins, preparing to resist this gentle creator. Nibelung himself, the vile king, raged at the audacity of Fanes, daring to interfere in their twisted rule. They unleashed an assault, their roars shaking the mountains and their fire darkening the sky, hoping to vanquish this intruder through sheer numbers. And yet Fanes, with a sorrowful resolve, understood the fight had come to him, and so, in self-defense, he fought back. But Fanes did not stand alone. To match the dragon's brutal power, he forged 4 radiant beings, shimmering reflections of himself, the shades, each embodying a fragment of his strength. Together, they faced the dragons in a battle that raged for 40 years, an era of blood and fury that scarred the earth. And when the dust finally settled, Fanes and his shades emerged victorious, while the last of the dragons lay broken, the reign of terror shattered at last. Following the end of the war, Fanes cast his eyes over the ruins and vowed to rebuild. For centuries he nurtured the land, every mountain and valley shaped by his caring hand, and when humanity was born, he welcomed them with a promise, a simple, heartfelt vow. I will give you this world, my children. He whispered, his voice full of hope. Be free and be happy. That is all I ask. And so for ages humanity flourished under Fane's watchful gaze. Occasionally, a nation would rise and with hubris flowing would attempt to look beyond the heavens, prompting a reevaluation of their existence, but for the most part, all was well, until it wasn't. Nibelung, the cursed dragon, had returned, had survived in hiding like a cockroach, now seething with vengeance, and in the depths of the abyss, he found a dark, forbidden power, an ancient substance known as spacecrack, forbidden knowledge that gave Nibelung crackhead strength, rivaling that of 10,000 dragon servants. Armed with this unspeakable force, and now a bastard, crackhead, dragon king, Nibelung rose once more, his fire now black burning in his eyes, his heart beating with hatred, and his claws aimed straight at Fanes himself. I will not yield, he whispered to himself, his light flickering but unbroken, even if I must cast myself into the shadows. I will protect them. The final clash between Fanes and Nibelung tore the world apart, mountains crumbling, oceans boiling as creation teetered on the brink of destruction. The Dragon King fell at last, but at a terrible cost. Fanes was left severely weakened, his very essence diminished by the battle, yet the scars of the abyss remained, a poison leaching into the earth. Fanes, broken but resolute, called forth the divine nails, immense relics crafted to purify the corrupted lands, and so they fell, cleansing the world with divine fire, with no side effects whatsoever, but scattering Fane's power further, forced him to withdraw from his beloved creation. In the centuries that followed, others rose enticed by the abyss, yearning to seize crack for dragons' forbidden knowledge and defy the heavens. Apep, Deseret, and even the serpent Orobashi all challenged Fane's will and all met their end, struck down in the shadows of their ambitions. But the darkest rebellion came from Condria, a godless nation that dared to wield the abyss itself, a kingdom that sought to conquer the divine. Their fate was sealed, their land shattered, their people cursed with eternal life to wander the earth in agony, living testaments to the price of defying the Creator's will. It's said after the cataclysm, heading off one last time, Phanes looked down below at his beloved creations and spoke, "I am saddened by the darkness you sometimes choose, but I have hope. Yet for within you lies a light greater than any shadow. Rise, my children, and prove me right."